Well, good to see you guys, and it's always good to be in here after a win. We're very excited. You take them when you can get them. I thought that our team competed at an extremely high level on Saturday. I thought all three phases of the game, no matter who was in the game, went out and hustled and played as hard as they possibly could. No matter what the score was, no matter on some of the special teams, some of those guys had never been on a special teams that we threw in there, and at least they were playing reckless abandon. So that to me was a great sign of hopefully good things to come in the future. Again, Campbellsville class act, very well coached. We just had them outmanned, jumped on them early in the game, and that they really never could recover from that. But to our guys' credit, we did come out. We were fired up, and we played well right from the get-go. Any questions?
Watching the film now, having had a chance to dissect that, what were some of the things you were most pleased with that maybe you didn't pick up on initially?
From the game Saturday? Well, I thought that we lined up better defensively. That was something that we plagued us in the first game. Offensively, I thought that we executed for the most part pretty well all night. And then special teams, I was especially the kickoff team. I was real pleased with the way we ran down the football field. When you win 83-14, I mean there's a lot of little things to correct. Don't get me wrong on that. But it was just, even if we didn't block some things the right way, some of our guys were just better players than what they had, and we were able to be able to move the football pretty much at will.
How did the players seem like having a senior day early in the season?
I hadn't asked them, Will.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, anytime you win's a big deal, of course. But as far as whether they liked it or not, I don't know. We were some decisions that you make, you just make them and go with them, and it is what it is. So, but I thought it went well. We had, it was a good atmosphere for those guys to be recognized in, and it's a little bit different than some other places. But who's to say senior night has to be at the end of the season? I mean, there's no law that says that. So I think we'll continue to do it this way as long as my bosses, they liked it, and it's ultimately their decision. But I think I'm gonna request that we continue to do it that way from here on out.
A little bit on Marcus Holiday and the performance he had.
Marcus played extremely well. I was very proud of him. Are really proud for him. When the guys do good, you always you're proud of them. But when they go out there and do something that they hadn't accomplished yet, you're proud for them. And he played very well. He was tired after the game. It didn't show during the game as much, but he ran hard. And we have high hopes for Marcus. And in the situation that we're in, he's a redshirt freshman. He's got two experienced running backs that happen to be really good in front of him. And right now he's just a kind of a mop-up guy for us, but. You better have three good running backs, and if something was to happen to one of the other two, we would have no problem sticking him in the game, and those were great reps for him the other night.
Does this game pay a dividend in the fact that you could see a lot of those guys multiple reps that you wouldn't have a chance to see otherwise in a game situation?
Well, I would like to play all games like that if it was up to me. I mean, at the end of the year, I mean, you think about it. I mean, nobody really looks at your schedule. They just look at how many you won and how many were in the other column. I mean, that was our Division II philosophy. I mean, it is what it is as far as that's concerned. But it was good. A lot of those backups got a lot of work that you just can't get that experience from practice. And that was probably the most pleasing thing is those guys went in and you would have thought the game was on the line every snap the way they played. And to me, that was probably the thing I was most impressed with our football team Saturday.
How impressed have you been with the offensive line through 2 games?
They've played well. They played good against Missouri. They played good the other night. I mean, we had great pass protection. They're run blocking well. They're a good unit, and again, we got some new guys on the right side, but and we still make some mistakes. But all in all, those two guys, those five have really held up well in the first two ball games.
Can you talk a little about Robert Olive, who stepped in for Littlefield and has done a really good job.
Yeah, Robert's really worked hard. If you and we have them, but I'm not going to show them to you. But we take pictures of our guys each year. They come in and after each off season, and then we take another one after the 14-week cycle that we go through the winter conditioning. And Robert, he's worked extremely hard. I mean, his body has changed dramatically since he's been here. I mean, he looks like a different person, and he works hard at it. And last year he had to play a lot against Missouri State, and there at the right guard position. I can't remember who. Andy Mahoney had gotten banged up, so he did a good job there, and he's playing well now. So the good thing about it is we hope that Littlefield will be back next week, but we think for sure by Jacksonville State, and we have a good battle on our hands there with those two guys, which is good. We needed to develop a few more guys up front.
Well, on Chavez Sims and his performance the other night.
Yeah, Chavez, he's a good player. We got him here in the midterm, and he missed a lot of spring ball. He had actually had a pink eye virus, and we had a kind of an epidemic on the team, and I think he missed about half a spring, and he couldn't come around the office. And then he had a family. His mother passed away during camp, so he missed a week and a half during camp, to go down and take care of that, and actually missed the first couple of days of school. So, here's a guy that hadn't been able to practice much, but you talking about a fine young man and a hard worker, and he really played well the other night, and I was really glad to see it. He's starting to come into his own, and that's something we need at that position.
What do you know about Missouri State so far? What have you seen?
Well, it looked pretty similar to what we've seen the past couple years, and both of those games have come down to the wire. Very well coached, defensively have probably one of the better defensive line fronts that we face all year, except for a 1A opponent. And then offensively, they do a good job of being balanced and mixing the passing game in with the running game. Just a solid team, and it shows. We had that high scoring shootout back in I guess 2010, and that was a game came down to a few mishaps on the special teams. Good plays for us, bad for them. And then last year, 28-23, we had to make an interception late in the game to seal the deal on that one. So very, very, it's going to be another tough ball game. That's what we're going into it expecting that.
Kind of anxious to play at LCS now, which you played Division I and NAI.
Well, I kind of like playing the NAIA team last week. That no disrespect to Campbellsville, just I like the outcome of that game. I'd like to have a lot more of those. Well, we get to see how we stack up against a team at our level, and we don't really talk too much about the opponents. We talk all the time as a faceless opponent. Our goal is to be the best we can be each week, to prepare the best we can prepare. That's something we're going to stress this week, that our preparation needs to be better than it has been. Week 1, we had 2 out of 3 good days of practice. Week 2, 2 out of 3 good days of practice. That's pretty much all you get is 3 days of practice when it's all said and done. And this week we need 3 out of 3, and that's our goal, just to go out there and be the best we can be. And I like I said, I like where we're at. I like our team. I like our attitude. But we do need a few guys to step up and perform like they're capable of performing as we head into the meat of our schedule.
Did you have any injuries come out of this game this past Saturday?
Just some guys sore. A lot of those backups are probably iced down right now. They played more snaps the past 2 weeks than some of them have played in their whole career. So I'm sure a lot of guys are sore. When you play as physical as we did the other night, that's bound to happen. But all in all, we expect everybody to be healthy. We were able to hold John Thorell and Corey Addison from the game for the most part. Saturday. They had just some minor leg issues, and I mean they could have played if we had needed them, but it was good that we were able to hold them, give them a few more days of rest as we head into this tough stretch of 3 games that we got coming up here in the month of September.
Jamal hasn't taken a lot of snaps, a lot of carries. Is that just based kind of out of necessity?
Well, he's played a lot of snaps. It's just the ball just hadn't been going his way, and that's just kind of the way it is when you got 2 good running backs. A lot of times it's a lot of luck involved in that. I mean, who's in the game at this time, and what kind of front do you get? What the plays are called while you're in the game. With those 2 guys, we don't change how we call the game. Now, when we got different receivers in, we may change some pass plays, but those 2 guys are interchangeable. And it just happened to be that the other night that Duane, when he got the ball, he ended up scoring touchdowns, and when Jamal got the ball, they were still good runs. They just didn't break for the long one, except the 1 touchdown he scored, I think, in the second or the first quarter. Well, you talk about the uniforms. First of all, the uniforms we've had were an older style uniform, okay, and again, progress, and Nike makes the pro combat uniforms that you hear so much about, and they really are. They're so much lighter. They keep the guys a lot cooler. They move a lot better. They're fit tighter to the body. It's just a better product. And recruiting, that's a big thing. And our guys absolutely love the uniforms. I mean, I saw them in there getting ready for the game. They loved them. And to me, you look at uniforms. I could really care less. Just we got the nicest kind you can buy. But at some point, we all forget that the game's about the players, and those players absolutely love them. And to me, if that's just a little something that we can throw their way that they like, so be it. Let them go have a good time with it, and they really like those uniforms a lot.
Talk about the preparation this week as you guys shift gears toward an FCS opponent now, someone that's at your level, and has that changed your approach mentally?
Mentally, no, because last week going into a game plan at NAIA school, we're going to prepare the same way as we always do. We're gonna do what we do best. Pressure tempo, run the ball, throw screens. We're just gonna do what we do and come back play harder this week than we did last week.
Is there anything that feels different in the locker room, or just talking to some of your teammates?
I feel like a lot of us are a lot more focused. This go around, we're a lot more focused, and we got a lot more hard work coming out there. So that's the only thing that's really different.
You ever had a 4 touchdown or more game at any level before this past week?
I had a couple in high school, but other than that, no. I never scored 83 points in a game though, so that was the first time.
But that's got to be it's a memorable senior day. No matter the opponent, that's a story you can tell for ages, right?
Yeah, it is.
83 on senior day, it's going to be tough to top.
Yeah.
But you got 72 on these guys coming in last time, and they probably didn't think they were going to give up 72 that day either.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, we're just going to come out and do our best, but yeah, that's going to be really hard to top.
Do you think the offense took a step from week 1 to week 2, or is that difficult to tell based on the opponent?
I would say yes. We took a step. I mean, it is kind of difficult, but I feel like we did. We had a lot more completions and not that many turnovers, so if any.
And I know you guys, running backs, are close. Tell us about Marcus Holliday's performance, man. He did a great job.
Yeah, he did. Me and Jamal were real proud of Marcus because he's one of those guys. He gets coached hard. Like he's a hard worker also. Like with him being the third back, it's kind of hard to get all 3 of us in one game and have everybody the equal amount of carries. But for him to have got the whole second half, he did a great job. He looked a little blown, but he did a great job. You couldn't really tell it by the way he was playing. But I mean, whole half to himself. I mean, I was proud. We were real proud of him.
Mikhail Miller, did he seem more comfortable this past Saturday than the week before?
It's kind of hard to tell because with him, to me, I haven't seen him, out of his comfort zone. He's always comfortable back there, and he looks good doing the stuff that he does. So I mean, I can't really tell.
What's been the biggest point of emphasis, or what will be the biggest point of emphasis for the offense as you guys prepare for Missouri State?
I would say focus and, you know, just believe and do our job, like do what we do, like do what we're coached to do.
On the defensive side, you guys got to see Shazad Sims pick up 4 sacks. I think a school record. Kind of amazing to see. We didn't have a lot to talk about defensively, so that was pretty nice. Based on last year, to see that this year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It's great to see new guys coming in and making big plays. So I was real proud of him also.
And also Paul Rice, off to a really great start offensively, catching a lot of balls. Leading receiver 2nd week in a row.
Yeah, he's been coming along great. Like ever since from camp to now, like he's really been improving every weekend. You know, he's been doing the little things a lot better, and that shows in his playing. And
Jamal Berry only has 13 carries. Is he just kind of holding back for these big games, you think?
I don't really know. I mean, with our last game, the way it all panned out and stuff like that, with him only playing the first half, and the first game, the way that went also. I mean, it's just sometimes, you know, with 3 people, it's hard to get the ball evenly. So I mean, I don't know.
Offensive line, how have they been in the 2 games to this point?
Oh, they've been great. I love them. They're really working hard and, you know, blocking their tails off. So proud of that.
Have you had a chance to see any film yet on Missouri State?
No, I haven't.
What are some of the things that you look at as a running back when you dissect the film? Is it mostly just looking at the defensive front and what kind of things that they do?
Well, we want to always look at the type of blitzes, so I know when to pick up on when I'm doing pass pro, and then like certain stuff when we're running the zone, and just see how they come off the ball and like where they fit and stuff like that. So I'm mostly looking at the front 7 just to get a feel on how they are at first.
Is that more difficult, do you think, in an offense like Coach Hatcher's than maybe other running backs and their responsibilities at other schools?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, being in the program for 4 years, I mean, they can pretty much throw anything at me. I'm pretty sure I can adapt to it. So I don't really see it as being difficult.